Hello, I'm the Pixel Priest, and this morning we're looking at the 8th and final chapter of the book, The Things He Carried by Stephen Cottrell. Jesus carried a broken heart. He carried a heart that was about to be broken. That was how he eventually died. He carried his heart, open and vulnerable, from Jordan to Jerusalem, from Gethsemane to Golgotha. And then it was broken. Broken by the savagery of the death he was about to face. Broken by the sheer weight of all the things he carried. But most of all, broken by the love that brought it to the moment of self-surrender. Jesus, in his final hours, facing the torturous choice between suffocation and the rending pain of trying to raise himself up slightly with his legs to ease the pressure on his chest. At the foot of the cross, he sees his mother Mary and some other women from his group, and his beloved Apostle John. Everyone else has gone. There is a terrible loneliness in dying. The hours pass. He carries so much pain and weight, and the fear that it is all to no avail. He feels his body failing, his lungs fill with fluid. Death rattles in the parched emptiness of his throat. Crying out in thirst, he dies. His heart breaks. And then there is silence. The soldiers fidget impatiently, waiting to go home. The religious leaders and the politicians wait anxiously, waiting to hear it's over. The religious leaders barter with Pilate, and the soldiers are told to bring the cycle of suffering to an end by breaking the legs of those being crucified. Now, the breaking of legs is not an act of additional cruelty, but an errand of mercy. With broken legs, no more time can be purchased by shifting the body up to relieve the pressure on the chest. But when they get to Jesus, they find he's already dead. The soldiers need to be sure and press a spear into his heart. It's obvious that Jesus is dead, but it's also obvious that it's not over. First, a tiny spot of blood, and then a droplet of water washed from his heart. Water and blood, streaming from his heart to mine. The water and blood flow from his side. As I watch it, it feels like he picks me up. He's carrying me to this living water, to this shed blood, to this place of refreshment, new creations, and new reality. These are the waters where I can be washed clean, the table where I'm an honoured guest. Jesus' heart is broken for me. His love holds me to himself and holds himself to the cross with a greater strength than a nail could muster. We are all crucified with him, and we're carried by him. Jesus waits upon me. His offer remains the same. There's nothing I need to do to earn or deserve it. It's just there, carried by his cross. He looks at me with such tenderness. He won't make the decision for me. I'm faced with a choice. The same choice every person faces or avoids. The same choice the criminals either side of him encountered as they were dying. Shall we sneer, or shall we ask to be remembered? Well, that's our reflection today, but there are some suggestions for our own reflection at home. One is to hold a small wooden cross and think about what it means and what it carries. The other thing is to read John chapter 19, verses 28 to 37 and ponder a couple of questions. How does it feel to be loved? And what does it mean to say that we are saved by the cross of Christ? Well, that's the end of our reflections on the things he carried. And if you have chance to buy Stephen Cottrell's book for yourself, I'd heartily recommend it. The chapters are more detailed than my reflections, and there are extra things to reflect on and consider at home. Wishing you a blessed and happy Easter.